Okay, I'm here today. I'm replacing the motor mounts on a 2007 Mazda 3. I'm going to be doing the number one mount, which is actually mounts onto the transmission, rear of the engine, and engine mount number 3, which is notorious for going out on these Mazdas. They tend to only last about maybe 50,000 miles. This is everything that you're going to need for the job. I got, you'll need a 14 and 17 millimeter sockets. I use a 1/2 inch, and you'll need some extension bars and breaker bars, 242 Loctites. You'll need a screwdriver, and I went ahead and bought replacement bolts because there's one bolt that I had to get off of the number 3 mounts. You can see I stripped it originally with the 17, and a little trick that you can do is when you get a stripped bolt like that, go ahead and keep turning it and you know, round the edges over, and then use the next size smaller socket. And what I do is, let's see, I got a 16 and put it on the extension, and you just put it over the head of the nut and smack it down on with a hammer, and it tightens really tight around the nuts, and then you can twist it off. It locks on pretty tight. It shouldn't strip after that. And let's see what else. If you're going to be changing the number 3 mounts, here's what the old mounts look like. This is the number 3 passenger side. Mine was actually broken. You can see it's cracked right there. Not too bad. It's got 160,000 miles on it. This is the number 1 mount. It goes under the hooks onto the transmission. It goes in like that, or actually no, it goes in like that. If you're going to do the number 3, you might as well go ahead and change this one out too, because what you'll need to do is you'll need to loosen this nut if you're going to do the passenger side number 3, this one. So I just went ahead and it was only 40 bucks, so it's, as long as I was having to get underneath the car, I was just going to throw this one in too. There's the number 1, the number 3, and the number 4 mounts. The number 4 mount is located underneath the battery bracket, so you're going to have to take all that stuff off to get to that. That one looks pretty easy too, but I'm going to do that later when I have more money. So there's the new mounts, the number 3, and then I have the old mount, or the brand new mount for the number 1 already installed. So basically, you know, one of the hardest things was to get this reservoir out. Basically all you're going to be doing is pulling real hard on it. It's gets attached in 2 places, right there, and then one on the front side right here. And basically they just sit over these little tabs, this one and this one, and you just yank real hard up on it, and it just kind of bends the plastic over. It kind of feels like you're going to break it, but I guess that's the way it's done. Anyway, okay, the first thing you're going to want to do is put it up on your ramps and support the engine and transmission with a block of wood like that. And then what I usually do is just raise it up to where the engine you know, comes up about a 1/2 inch, just to make sure I got all the weight off of those mounts. So to do that, you just take off your plastic. I think there's 7 bolts, and it has those 2 clip-on plastic clips that you just, here it is right here. You know, these things, has 2 of those things. All you got to do is pull these little things out in the middle, pull those out, and then the whole thing comes out. To install it, you push it in, and then you just pop that thing back into the center. Okay, when you get your new mount, I got mine from the dealer. It was $100. You've got your stud bolts here. Those get screwed in. Those just stay there. I didn't take those out. If they do come loose, you have to retorque them down. I think they get torqued at like 90 pounds. But you're just gonna put this guy in here. It's real easy. It's like that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some Loctite on these end threads here. It's got two bolts, one there and one on that side. The order that you want to do it is you want to go ahead and tighten these guys down first, and then you're gonna bolt your other two down to their torque, and I'll give you the torque settings in a moment. If you're doing all three of them at once, what you want to do is tighten these four down. There's a sequence order, special sequence order. There's 4 bolts on the other one, the number 4 mounts that you have to follow with the torque setting. You want to tighten those all down too. And the very last bolt that you're going to tighten down is for the number 1 mounts, and that's this one right here. So you can go ahead and attach this one here, attach the bracket, get all those tight, but you'll leave this bolt here last in order for it to do all the flexing that it needs to do. Let's see, is there anything else that I need to talk about? I don't think that's pretty much it. The number 1 mount, like I said, was 40 bucks. Number 1 is $100, and then the number 4 mount is like $60 or $70, and I'll be doing that at a later time. And what I'll do then is I'll just loosen this bolt here and then replace that number 4 bracket, get that all tightened down, and then I'll go and tighten up that bolt on the number 4 after everything sags to where it's supposed to go. That's about it. Okay, this is the location of the transmission mount, rear mount in the 2007 Mazda 3. You have a bracket here, and then this is the actual mount that you'll be replacing. The order that you want to take all this stuff off is you want to loosen this, take this bolt out here, don't do the other side. Then you take this bolt out, they're both 17 millimeters. Then you take your 3 mounting bracket bolts out, which are 14 millimeter, and everything comes out real easy. Once you have all to the rear engine mount, so you want to check in here, make sure there's no cracks or anywhere where this bushing is, you know, maybe compromised. This looks good. This has 160,000 miles on it, so this part does not need to be replaced. This is the old mount that came out of it. It looks in pretty good shape, a lot better than the passenger side mount. The only place that I see that it's compromised is in the rubber on this side. See how it's broken away from this mount here? So I bought a new one for about, I think it was 40 bucks. Here, this is what it looks like here. See how it's got rubber all the way through it? That's all solid all the way around there, all the way around. Putting everything back, you want to go ahead and slip your mount in first with the higher side of the boss going up, and then you'll put your bracket in and get everything kind of situated loosely. Put all your bolts in your bracket, your mount, and this here. Put everything in real loose. See how this is all loose? Of course you want to use Loctite, and then what I do is I tighten up the bracket tightly first to get that all situated to where it's supposed to go, and then I tighten up this guy, and then lastly this one, because this is the pivot point, and that's it. And then I'll have some further stuff up in the next video. Oh, one last thing, the torque settings. Let me go ahead and give you those so you guys don't have to look that up. Okay, this is the number 1 transmission mounts. It looks like it's going to be between 69 and 85 pounds for both of them, for both this bolt here and this bolt here. The number 3 mounts goes like that. Let's see, it looks like between 55 and 77 foot-pounds for all 4 of them. The number 4 mounts is going to be, well, you're going to have to get the download the diagram for that, because there's 2 bolts that get 32 to 45 foot-pounds, and the other 2 get 61 to 86 foot-pounds. Okay, and I think that's it. And then there's my chickens, some of them. See ya, good luck. Oh, you know, one other nifty thing for you Mazda 3 owners, pain in the butt doing oil jobs on the plastic underneath the car. What I went ahead and did was to cut a circle out right below the oil filter, so I don't have to take this stupid shroud off every time I want to do an oil change. So, okay, that's about it. Good luck.